afternoon. I'm Mark Pavlovich. I'm Vice President for Advancement and Sponsored Research at the University, and I'm delighted to welcome you all today to this program recognizing Larry Dowdy with the naming of the Westchester University Multicultural Center. We thank everyone for attending, but in particular the members of the SSI Board of Directors and staff who made this honor possible through their generous leadership philanthropy. I also welcome the many other generous donors who helped make this tribute a reality. The program includes a list of Larry's many family, friends, and others who joined SSI and contributed to this initiative. Indeed, more than $325,000 was raised to create an endowment to support programming here at the center. During the reception, please check out the recognition plaques located inside the center. And I offer a special thank you to Susan Vanskovich and Kristen Mackin from the foundation who provided the staff leadership to make this fundraising effort a success. But before introducing our first speaker, I do want to take a special moment to honor somebody who has routinely avoided the limelight throughout this process while focusing all the recognition on Larry. Will everyone join me in recognizing Larry's wife and much better half, do that, but I listened to directions.
You stole my line.
That's right, that's right. It is now my pleasure to introduce WCU's interim president, Dr. Christopher Ferrantino, to begin our program with greetings and thoughts about the importance of this great occasion. Chris, please come forward.
Boy, how much fun is this?
Not much.
Well, I'll tell you, this is quite a weekend for me. Last night we got to honor Madeline and Fred, and now we're honoring Larry. And for me to be in this chair at this time, having the honor to do this is really incredible, and I'm delighted. I do have to comment before I formally start, to see Larry stand up just a moment ago to try to get everybody to calm down. Those of us who have worked with him for many years, especially those of us who were on the Administrative Budget Committee, we would meet every Thursday afternoon for multiple hours. We were a group that tended to sort of wander off topic, and I wish I had a nickel for every time I heard Larry say, "Can we get back on task here?" and for all of his accomplishments, his ability to keep a group on task was really a gift, and we were very successful to a great extent because Larry kept us focused on what we were trying to do. We're here today, obviously, to celebrate the naming of this center, which is an incredible focal point for our students of color. I've spoken to many students in this past 6 months, and this has been their anchor, the thing that has helped them to get established and be successful at Westchester. And to be naming this in honor of Larry is really a wonderful thing. Larry, actually, as I was preparing these remarks, I came across a couple of names from your past that we had never really talked about, but Saul and Mary Greenberg, who had a significant impact on the fact that you came to Westchester, and Saul was a faculty member here, and Mary, his wife, they have both passed at this point, but Saul had a significant impact on me. He was the chair of criminal justice for many years, and for all these years I never realized the mutual connection we had there. But Larry came to Westchester, and he came to Westchester at a time when it wasn't really that friendly a place for African Americans. And we've all, I remember Madeline having an event where we talked about that and went through and processed how far we have come. And to look at where we are now and look at Larry's 30 plus years here, he has played a significant role in the change that has occurred at this campus. And I think that the term that really comes to mind for me is Larry came here, he got an education, he had support, And then he spent his career paying it forward and impacting generations of students on this campus and in very positive ways. And again, when I learned that we were going to be naming the center in his honor, I just thought that's perfect. So the generous gift from SSI, a wonderful start for this. Larry and Merle, their gift, and then many other contributors to this have resulted in this wonderful outcome today. And what we're going to see here is that the traditions that Larry has established are now going to go forward, and his name will remain. He's already a legend, but he's going to be a legend for future generations of Westchester students, even in his age. And I know he hates this kind of stuff, which is making this a little extra fun for me. And you know, Larry's retired now, but he shows up every now and then. And what I have found is that as long as I'm willing to buy him lunch, he will come and continue to give me his good counsel. And I can tell you I'm absolutely taking advantage of that good counsel, because we still have many challenges, and even in retirement, Larry, I look forward to working with you to continue to improve Westchester University. So again, I'm honored. The gifts of all the donors have made this happen. The benefit to our students, past students, present students, future students, this is just wonderful. And congratulations to all. Bernie, thank you for your support from SSI and the board members, all those who contributed to this. Larry and Merle, thank you very much. What an exciting day. Thank you so much.
It's now my pleasure to recognize the following special guests who are with us today. First, the former Westchester Mayor, the Honorable Clifford D. Baptiste. Yeah, we'll make your remarks a little bit later. Sorry. This is how eager everyone is to get at Larry.
I can't talk for 20 minutes over here.
I'd also like to introduce...
Will the lady that owns this boat, will she come forward and get this, please? Oh, thank you. Oh, you just want to stand up. Oh, okay. You're not ready for it. Thank you.
I'd also like to introduce former President Madeline Wing Adler and her husband, Fred.
There you go.
And of course, we're delighted to have Sue Ferrantino with us, the President's wife. Sue. Now, following the ceremony, please be sure to view the citations honoring Larry and presented by our elected officials. These include the Senate of Pennsylvania, thanks to Senator Andy Dinniman, and the House of Representatives, thanks to Representative Stephen Kinsey, who is, of course, one of our alums, and has worked with Larry and told me he would not tell me stories until after this. Student Services Incorporated provided the leadership support that made this dedication possible. It is my distinct honor to introduce Dr. Bernie Carrozza, Chairman of the SSI Board of Directors, and Ms. Donna Snyder, SSI's Executive Director, to offer remarks.
Good.
Larry, I have nothing tricky to say about it. Everyone in this room, I am very pleased and honored to introduce Donna Snyder personally to all of you. Donna is the new Executive Director of SSI and has made significant inroads in our growth and development, so we're very pleased to have Donna with us. Formally, good afternoon, everyone. As Chairman of the SSI Board of Directors and Executive Director, it is our distinct honor to participate in this ceremony establishing the Larry A. Dowdy Multicultural Center in honor of our good friend and longtime WCU leader and advocate, Larry Dowdy. The mission of Student Services is to ensure that our university provides students with the best support for their success. To that end, we provide an array of services to our students. At the same time, we are always working with the university to identify new ways of improving students' experience. In that spirit, SSI was delighted to present the university with an endowment fund to support and expand our multicultural student programs. It is particularly fitting we've done this as a tribute to Larry in recognition of his remarkable history with this university. Since arriving at Westchester as a freshman, Larry has been a tireless worker building the success of this outstanding institution. As a longtime member of and chair of the Westchester University Council of Trustees, and now on the SSI board, I have witnessed firsthand the many, many ways which Larry has served Westchester with the utmost distinction. Many of you know Larry very well and could share examples of how he's made a difference for generations of students. He's advised presidents and trustees to make decisions in students' best interests. He's worked with community and political leaders to ensure that they understood how Westchester University makes a difference in lives and in the region. And he led the university's efforts to create a welcoming environment for all students, regardless of who they are, where they come from, and their past experience. Quite frankly, the legacy of Larry Dowdy is the university's long and continuing march to inclusion and opportunity. So it is with great pride and gratitude that SSI approved the establishment of a $250,000 endowment. I knew this was going to happen. It's this cheap paper that I did. All right, okay, now we got it. I'm going to repeat the $250,000 endowment to name the Multicultural Center the Lawrence A. Dowdy Multicultural Center. These funds, along with other generous gifts in support of our commitment, will provide a permanent source of support for a new center, initiatives, and ensure that Westchester University remains a place of welcome and student success. On a very personal note, I've known Larry for a long time, probably 30 years. We've grown together. We even call each other brother. It's probably because of our hairlines. But during that time, I have seen Larry's goodness, his loyalty to our students, his great sense of humility, his sensitivity. Larry is just an exceptional person who can look back and see the difference that he's made to so many. Indeed, he has made a difference in me. I judge a friend not by what he or she has done for me, but rather how they have enriched my life and how they have made me a better person. And Larry, you've been a role model for me, and I am most grateful and proud to call you my friend and brother. And so I thank you on behalf of all of us for your remarkable service to Westchester University. As a proud alumnus, I salute you and all you have done for our diverse student body and to make Westchester University a national model for excellence in higher education. Thank you very much, Larry.
Larry has made many friends in this community over his career. Among those that have had the greatest impact on the university's success is his long-standing friendship with Dr. Clifford D. Baptiste. From his service on the WCU Council of Trustees to his support of myriad campus programs, including scholarships and the Frederick Douglass Institute Statue Project, Dr. D. Baptiste has been the epitome of the good citizen. I am pleased to welcome him to the podium to offer remarks.
Now. You are right. Thank you. Now I get my 20 minutes, right? No.
Got very worried.
I was amused as they had here community witness. And really, that's what I am. I was thinking about what made all of this possible. And I've talked to people who've been here 25, 30, 35 years, and they have no idea what it used to be. I came on the board in 1968. It may be written someplace, it may not. And Westchester at that time was over here on that side of Rosedale Avenue. 1,800 faculty and students. The board decided they had an opportunity to buy 250 acres over here. And we became, beginning that time, as the most picketed board in the history of the 14 state colleges. No, everybody, you're a leading citizen of West Goshen and Westchester. Picket the board, don't buy it, don't buy it, don't buy it, you don't need it, you don't need it. We just want a small little university here. Today, because of that bold move, and you know, we ducked a few missiles too, but because of that bold move, we purchased that land, and now you have 17,000 students. Which gave us an opportunity to see people like Ken Parent and the beloved Madeline Adler, did I use his name? Okay. President, who could never, we would have no need for them if we were just 1,800 little people over there in the corner. I ask people, you can ask them when you leave here, where was the stadium? There's people 25 and 30 years. Oh, they'll say, oh, down here. No. On the corner, across from the church, championship game and everything else was right there on the corner across from Calvin Lutheran Church. So it was because of that that we were able to have Larry to walk with presidents and guide them, and he was always that silent leadership there, but sort of threatening. He protected those presidents through 14 years with Madeline, a few years with Ken, and then the last 7 years, of course, with Greg. The other thing that was 1968, just a little history, and then my 20 minutes is up. The other thing we came here, the board, the university was a throwback from the old days. No African American had tenure. Only 2 African Americans employed. One was Mrs. Ruby Jones. You get some of those. She was there 30 years, no tenure. And the other was a fellow named Jim Mason. He was there 6 years, no tenure. No other Africans employed. Why? Oh, well, you know, we went over to, we're looking for employees and things. We didn't know that Howard University produced great African-American leaders and all that. And we was able to, end of that first year in '68, to have 12 people from the offices right on down to be able to start. And every last one we picked, and we talked to Larry about this, Ted Butcher and Nick Early, they all retired, proving that there were great qualified Afro-Americans. And the first professor we hired the chairman of the secondary education department, Walter Ridley. Remember Walter T. and Ridley? Yeah, great. He was a great guy. And so it proved that, you know, the whole story we between you all along. But Larry has always conducted himself in a way that he was there and not there. And I think the president, especially since Madeline's here tonight, can tell you all the things he's done so nice, dignified, and yet loyal, extremely loyal to to her. Well, you had your story, you had your lesson in history. Make sure now that you remember it. From 1,800 students and faculty to a growing, which is number one of the 14 now, to a growing university of 17,000. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Jerome Skip Hudson, Director of the Multicultural Center, and Ms. Montana Leaks, President of the Student Government Association, to offer remarks. And I believe, Skip, you're going first, and Montana second.
Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon, everyone. And before I begin my formal remarks, I think it would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge and welcome Dr. Adler back. It was actually 10 years ago this year when we stood in exactly the same spot and dedicated this Multicultural Center here at Westchester University. And as you, during the reception, if you go inside, you'll see there's a photograph in there of the ribbon cutting ceremony for that. As the Director of the Office of Multicultural Affairs, it is my honor and pleasure to be here to help acknowledge the numerous contributions that Larry Dowdy has made to the Westchester University community. Obviously, our office is a direct beneficiary of the generous contributions from Larry, Student Services Incorporated, and the other donors, but it is the many students, faculty, and staff who continue to benefit from his leadership, mentorship, and friendship, even after his retirement from the university. Larry may not remember this, but he was actually the very first person I met here. In the fall of 1991, while working at the University at Albany in upstate New York, I decided to apply for this position that I now hold. And when I shared my intentions with a former colleague there, the late Carson Carr, also a Westchester alum, he suggested I contact Larry to learn more about the position and the university. Larry's insight and counsel during that brief initial conversation was instrumental in my decision to pursue and eventually accept this position. And his mentorship, friendship, and support for the past 25 years have been invaluable to my personal and professional development. There are literally thousands of students who have benefited directly from Larry's commitment and dedication to this institution by way of scholarships, opportunities to attend leadership conferences, and his general advocacy for all students, but especially for multicultural students, first-generation students, and students from urban backgrounds. Therefore, I cannot think of a more appropriate way to honor his generous support than to have this center named after Larry Dowdy. Larry, I speak for many who can't be here today when I say thank you for all you continue to do for this university and for our students. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to keep this short, but to the point, I hope. So my name is Montana Leaks, and I am the Student Government President here at Westchester University. And I'm going to tell you a little story. My first memory of Mr. Larry Dowdy was the day that he became one of my close friends. Not sure if he remembers this day. But it was back in spring of 2014. I was a first semester sophomore, so I was newly involved on campus. And I had the opportunity to attend Advocacy Day in Harrisburg, a day dedicated to advocating for the state school system that we all have the privilege of being a part of. I woke up the morning of and realized that I had never met any of the people who I was going to be riding in a car with for an hour. And my initial reaction when I arrived to load up the car and get on the road was fear, because I had never heard of Advocacy Day. Was it real? I don't know. Were we actually going there? Would they kidnap me? Who knows? I'm guessing that the look on my face triggered something in Larry, because he walked over to me, said hello, and sparked up a conversation. My fear subsided, and I was ready for the day. Throughout the day, my confidence began to rise, because before each meeting we went into, he would look at me and say, "You got this." I did not know at the time, but he was instilling in me the confidence that I still possess today. So after a day of running, and I literally mean running, around the Capitol, with former President Weisenstein and Larry taking countless Snapchat photos and sharing our stories, I found a new friend. It is very fitting that this Multicultural Center be named for Larry Dowdy, given his long service to Westchester University and support of inclusion. During his time at Westchester, Larry was always willing to help students, and particularly those from underrepresented backgrounds. He provided us with the opportunity not only to believe in ourselves, but to make sure that we saw our beliefs all the way through. As SGA president, I look to leaders like Larry for inspiration, and I know that the current and future generations of students do as well. Larry, I am so grateful that I had the opportunity to know you. This is well deserved, and I truly am thankful for that day when you inspired me in the Capitol.
It's now my pleasure to introduce members of Larry's family to offer remarks. I invite Ms. Rosalind Hart, Larry's aunt, and his children, Matthew and Leah Dowdy, to come forward to share your thoughts about this day.
Good afternoon. I am Larry's youngest aunt. And I know many people say, well, she doesn't look much older than him. That's true. But on behalf of the family, it is a pleasure to share with you today as we officially dedicate this building, this center, to Larry. Today marks another milestone in his life. On behalf of his family and his oldest sister, my oldest sister, and his aunt, Ethel Jackson, who is 97 years old. She is not physically able to be here, but her daughter, Marlene, and her husband, Daniel Mitchell. Would you please stand? And the oldest granddaughter is standing behind her, Sherry McDaniel, Sherry Ray Dan. We two we're the two oldest survivors. There was 4 of us, 4 girls. And I know that the loved ones who has passed on, that they are proud of the legacy that our mother and our parents taught us to love each other, to look out for each other, to always be there for each other. Not only for each other, but to care about others. So when Larry called me and told me to put this date on my calendar, I said it's just what we have been raised to do. And I am so thankful for his vision to have this multicultural center for others to excel in their education. This is something that we all are very proud of him for. And we congratulate you on this dedication to the Larry A. Dowdy Multicultural Center. The warmth that is generated here from all of you that came out today, just to say thank you and your support. When he had his vision, he had someone behind him to encourage him, to inspire him to go on with this. And I am so thankful to each and every one of you that has encouraged him to move on to this. Thank you very much.
So growing up, I don't think that most kids really know what it is their parents do for a living. My brother and I, for instance, both went through a phase where we were reasonably sure that our father worked for the FBI. Nice suit, dark shades, frequently wore an earpiece. Was always really shady when describing what it was he did at work. But beyond that, if you asked us what he did, we'd probably say he worked at Westchester University doing important educational stuff. Not sure we could give you any more than that, but we could definitely tell you about the values and lessons that our parents both taught us growing up. And they taught us to be kind, they taught us to be hardworking, and above all else, they taught us to wholeheartedly believe that we could do absolutely anything we wanted to in this world. We put our hearts and our minds behind it. My dad never let me believe for one moment that because of my gender or the color of my skin, I was somehow at a disadvantage, despite the fact that the world has often tried to convince me otherwise. When I was in middle school and said I wanted to run for student council, my dad said, okay, what do we need to do to make that happen? And the answer was print 1,000 vote for Leah stickers at Staples. And when I said in college I wanted to study abroad in London, he asked again, okay, what do we need to do to make that happen? And to this day, when I tell him that I fully plan on winning an Oscar for Best Actress, he says, I have no doubt that you will. My dad's unconditional love and support and belief means the world to myself and my brother. And I can honestly say that attending all of these retirement receptions and ceremonies has been amazing, because while we know that our father is an amazing man, it's been amazing to hear from so many other people about the ways that he has touched and positively affected their lives. So I think I can speak for both of us when I say that we are so incredibly proud of you, Dad.
I said, I'm so proud of you, Dad, and I can't think of any better way to honor all that you've done for the school than this dedication right here. So thank you so much. We love you.
So the moment has arrived. I'd like to invite Larry and Merle, Chris Ferrantino, Dr. Carosa, Donna Snyder, Skip, and Montana to come forward. We're going to take just a second to get set up here. Montana and Skip are going to be over here, and you're all going to stand back here. Okay? Larry, you're in the middle of Merle. You'll run right you back here on this side of Chris here, and Donna, you go on this side of Larry. Now we do have a procedure here, and it requires group participation, all right? How good is this group at following instructions, all right? So what's going to happen is I'm going to start a countdown with you, starting at 3, and when we reach 1, Larry's going to cut the ribbon, and Skip is going to ensure that that comes down. A lot of pressure now. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. It is now my pleasure to introduce the man of the hour, Larry Dowdy.
Those of you who know me a little bit, I'm sitting here watching my watch. We're doing pretty good, and Matthew and Leah, I'll gladly give you $1, for those kind words. Soon enough. Let me begin briefly by saying I am very humbled to be provided with this honor. As many of you, again, who know me, this is the last place I want to be behind the podium and being recognized. So I will be brief.
20 minutes.
Well, actually, Dr. D. Baptiste has done very well. When he called me twice this morning, he was up to 60 minutes. We kind of kept cutting him. But since I raised him, he was one of the first persons I saw on campus the summer of 1969. As one of the former presidents, Dr. Earl Sykes, was going, and the new president, Dr. Paul Rossi, was coming. And I didn't know who he was, but you just knew he was somebody. And
Can you imagine, he picked the board too?
that's true, I did, you know, and anyone who's over 90 plus, 92 years old can say whatever he wants to say, how long he wants to say it. And we're all grin and bear it. So, Cliff, whatever I was going to say about you later in the program, I don't now need to say. You know, we're done with that. You know that. But anyway, speaking of the program, I do, Chris and Susan, want to thank you on behalf of Merrill and the family for your kind words. Bernie and Donna, mega donation from SSI and Montana, because the name of the organization is Student Services Incorporated. But the board finds ways to, legal ways, to invest in money to enable, you know, these types of gifts to be given. This brief, what I call brief effort, started around October and November at a football game when I raised with Mark, you know, before he could pick my pocket, you know, about, you know, some opportunities to be explored, and asked for some information about what about the multicultural center as a possibility. And Merrill and I talked, and first we were thinking about maybe a $50,000 goal within a 2-year period, and we would be the lead gift. Then I went to talk to Dr. DeBaptiste, and he said that we should go for the whole Gusco, and he made a major contribution. And the next day, he called the university, and the money was in here, you know, there. So he not only made the contribution, but wrote, or had his people write the check out, you know, right away. Then in June, before the solicitation went out, I had a meeting set up with Mark and Donna and Bernie and Merrill and I. And Merrill and I were saying, well, we wonder what this meeting is about. And the news of that the SSI board had unanimously voted to make a commitment for, I like to say, $250,000 was just amazing. So let's give them. I'm talking about the people on the program. I have 4 sections of my brief remarks. Now, Skip, I do remember, you know, that call from Carson Carr, who was a dear friend and whose shoulders that I stand on. And many of our alums, some who are here, class of 59 and classes of 50, the way I looked at it was knowing the trials and tribulations and what they endured. Sort of said to me, whatever the trials and tribulations we were enduring in the early 70s, that we could do anything if those other alums before us could survive. It wasn't happening at Westchester University. Montana, I do remember part of that. The part I remember, though, was that you were always the confident person that you are today. And I can't tell you how amazingly proud I am of you that, you know, no disregard for the Black Student Union, but she's not president of Black Student Union, she's president of the Student Union of this university. So let's go. And I believe you're on your way to law school. Yes, you're on your way to family is important. My auntie Rosalind, isn't she amazing? Yeah. We were talking today, and I was asking her. I was trying to probe to say some things to say about you. You know, but a nurse for more than 50 years, and when I was growing up, you didn't see many nurses that looked like her, and she was a tremendous role model. And what I remember is that her uniform was starch stiff. Hat and everything was, you know, she was in impeccable, but she's always kept the family together. She's a historian, and she's always bring a cheer. Matthew and Leah, you heard from. Matthew is a medical technician, St. Joseph Hospital. Right, you know, there. He lives in Potsdam, you know, there. And he started out in a high school allied health program. So he's really doing what he wanted to do and started out to do. We're very proud of him. He'll be taking an exam for technician, medical laboratory scientist. Whatever. This month, you know, there, so we wish him well. Leah, graduate of Pittsburgh. Matthew's an alum here 4 years ago, 5 years ago. You, when did you graduate?
Where'd your money go to?
Anyway, she graduated, you know, there. Leah is a dance instructor. She teaches dance in Manhattan. Her subjects range from 4-year-olds to 83-year-olds. And she teaches ballet, and she teaches Beyonce, you know, there as far as. When she's not doing that, she's an actress, she's a model, she's a brand ambassador, she's a songwriter, and we can't keep up what she's doing from week to week. So we're very proud of you and very proud of the remarks that you made. Person you hadn't heard from, you know, and I was glad that Mark, you made some remarks, is Meryl, my lovely wife. And I believe we've been married for 37 years. Got it right? Got it right? And a career woman, you know, in education, high school teacher for more than 30 years, right?
I bet you told.
Yes, more than 30 years, and retired this past June, right? There and all. But she's been the rock of the family, and without her, whatever recognition you give to me is really due to her. And when you look at Matthew and Leah, it's due to her genes, not mine. To that there. Then I just want to briefly thank the crowd, the wonderful crowd that's here. I've had the privilege of working with many of you, and I've been surrounded by amazing people. And that's really you know, in regard to that. Starting with what I call my classmates, those 1970 errors. You know, I graduated in 73, but we owned everybody. You know, 72, 71, 74, 75, yeah, they're all saying amen. 78, 76, and without one another, we could not have gotten through this place, you know, there. So we created our own little community that helped get through. So I'm pleased that you're here. I see you, you know, there. I'm so proud of you, and just wanted to say hello to that. Moving on to, I did also want to acknowledge all of my colleagues that I've worked with, collaborated with, those presidents, in particular Madeline Wing Adler, who's here, 16 years. We were finishing each other's sentences. I would say yin and yang, you know, we were really yin and yang over that period of time. And her wonderful husband, who we affectionately call the first hump, you know, Westchester Fred, you know, we're glad that you can be here. Yeah. Also want to thank the President's Office staff who put up with me, you know, for a number of years, beginning with the wonderful Miss Grace Kelly, whose jacket was misplaced at left hand, right arm, and just got a real charge of making medical appointments for me and say she was Mrs. Dowdy, you know, to be able to make that. I did reference our staff. President's Office staff has been truly a team there, and we believe that our staff meetings were some of the most hilarious meetings one could have. We had the whole building jealous because we'd be yucking it up and working very hard. But I can't tell you the amount of respect and pride that I have working with all these individuals who are amazingly bright, smart, and I've learned quite a bit about. So tribute to President's Office staff. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say after Grace retired, told me she was leaving me, you know, there. Ann Ritter had stepped in and done a tremendous job. And then when I told her I was leaving her, then she moved on from Westchester. But Ann, somewhere in the drama, thank you very much. One of my remarks that I've made, I'd say that if there's anybody in the room that I forgot to thank, this is for you. Thank you. So let's do it. Finally, I want to say is that for me, the name on a wall above is not what this is about. You know, this is about establishing an endowment with a vision, which is to provide support and funding for multicultural students to have leadership development experiences off campus so that they can interact with people who look like them and who can be inspired by those individuals, one. Secondly, it's about creating symposiums either once every 2 years or 3 years for all student leaders, just not multicultural students, but all student leaders to explore what does it mean to be a diverse organization or university, one with inclusion, how is that defined, and what's the role of the student leader in working with their group to instill that. I believe if we can provide all student leaders with those skills, that it will help make Westchester an even more welcoming place, and those skills can be taken out into their communities. So that's what it's about also. And then finally, one of the things that I know the Office of Multicultural Affairs is interested in is in pursuing study abroad opportunities, to provide more opportunities for multicultural students to have that experience. So my job has been to frame a vision based on what some of you have said to me, be a rainmaker, I learned that from him, to go out and get some funding to get behind it. And I want to thank all of you who had an opportunity to donate, and those of you who are inspired to donate, if you haven't yet had an opportunity to donate. It will be the university's job. And as Chris said, I'm only 13 miles away and I show up every now and then. But it's on the university now to kind of take this forward. You know, I'll do my part in getting it off the ground, but to make sure that it becomes institutionalized. You know, that's my hope, that's my dream. I want to sit on a cruise ship, watch the sun, sit on a beach in the Caribbean, and know that it's in good hands. And I know that it will be. So on behalf of my family, and I want to truly thank you very much. And your words have been very moving. I'm amazed that I was able to hold it together this long. Thank you very much.